And we're live!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrilling and exciting episode of Those Aren't Biscuits. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Cadotte, and with me, as always, people call him crazy because he's wearing diamonds on the soles of his shoes, Owen Adams.
Hello. I wouldn't say crazy. I'm trying to mine to the center of the earth, but through the power of tap dancing.
Alright. Owen clearly doesn't know the song that I'm referring to.
I don't. I'm really sorry.
You don't know that Paul Simon song, Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes? Really? No. It's like one of his most popular songs from the Graceland album? Nothing?
No.
There's an SNL performance of it? Not okay. It's a good song. You should listen to it, by the way. Features Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm just gonna make sure we're set up and stuff here, and and you can carry on razzing me for not knowing that song. I probably do know if I'd hear it, but I haven't listened to Paul Simon regularly in a long time. I like Paul Simon. It's just, you know, I'm into like newer stuff, more cutting edge stuff these days. You know what I mean? None of that old music.
You're still don't you still listen to like Bob Dylan daily?
No, I gave up on Bob Dylan after he started producing his own vodka. No, whiskey. Heaven's Gate.
Why?
Which Heaven's Door,
Why?
sorry. Heaven's Gate would be Heaven's Gate would be someone else's whiskey.
Why does that make you want to give up on him?
Oh, that was only a joke. I just thought that story was very corny. No, it was when he did that underwear advert, that Victoria's Secret advert about 10 years ago that I actually, lost a lot of interest.
Yeah. I don't know. Stuff like that doesn't bother me when artists do stuff.
No, it's not
like that.
It's not like, I don't mean it in a sense of, oh, he sold out, you know? Because I think people do ads.
Out, man.
And that's okay. It's just that it does make it harder to enjoy the music when Bob Dylan these days, I think, is more like Bob Dylan the brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't interest me as much, I suppose.
Right. I guess that makes sense.
But I suppose what I'd like to say is, the question I think everybody would like to know, the most important of this week is, if you were a serial killer, what would be the method of crime? What would be your method of killing?
What would be my method of killing? Well, the thing is I'm tempted to go like a gruesome route, right? Like, if I'm gonna commit the murdering and do it often enough to be considered serial murder, I should do it like with a lot of flair, a lot of chutzpah.
I've sent you an invite, by the way.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've gotten it.
Well, I can send you another, but they won't be able to hear you for just a moment. Okay, cool. So you're going gruesome and violent.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I want to go that way because, I want to be well known. Like, I want to be like, oh my god, all these incisions were also seared shut because he used a flaming chainsaw, right? So, like, I don't know.
A flaming chainsaw.
Yeah, not just like a normal chainsaw, but it should be like on fire, because that way when you're cutting through them and then like the flame is hot enough that it also like sears the flesh a little bit, so it really confuses like the CSI people, where it's like, well, there should be way more splatter than there is because of a chainsaw.
So presumably you're also moving the body if this is to confuse CSI.
No.
Well, I mean, but that won't confuse them because they'll just see that the wounds are cauterized, surely.
Well, maybe, but
it'll take them longer.
Right? Yeah. Like I'm not trying to deceive them in any way. Like, in fact, I might just like leave a note saying, "Hey, the chainsaw was on fire."
So do you think you'd be like a cop taunter?
Yeah, oh, I absolutely would. Oh, I would. There's no doubt in my mind.
Would you do notes? Or like, these days you could do voicemails? I have to say, that's something as a society, I think modern day society, that's something we've lost. The tradition of, you know, serial killers taunting cops.
Right. No, I think I'm going with hologram, like Tupac Shakur hologram.
Will it actually be Tupac Shakur?
No, it will be me, dressed like Tupac. So I'll be offensive, like a culturally offensive.
The culturally offensive killer.
Yeah,
I like that. That is the best nickname because it suggests not only are you a killer who is killing people, but on top of that,
I'm also like appropriating culture. You know,
you're also a dick. You know.
Right.
And old ladies will see things. Old ladies will say, you know, oh, the more you hear about him, the.
It's like you know how you stop the cultural appropriation murderer. You just don't talk about it. You know, that's the reason why it still exists, is because you talk about it.
Of course. Yeah. Like all crimes. Hello, by the way, to Ninth Dimension Gaming. Hello to Liz Aloche. Hello to Christian Skywalker. Hello to Mystique the Cute Blue Alien. Hello to Tiny Beth Secret. And that is everybody. How you doing? Welcome, guys. I hope you're all having fun.
But I think in real, if I was a real, I don't think I'd have the stomach for that kind of gruesomeness. So it'd probably be something a little bit more subdued, like maybe I would like hide tiny like C4 explosives in their meals. And
that's not subdued.
Well, no, because I won't be there. I'll like remote detonate them because I don't want to see it. You know, I don't want to see the viscera. So if I'm just further enough away, detonate, I can hear the explosion and be like, okay, well, I did my job.
And you'd be remembered.
Right. You know, because it would be a little bit different.
Oh, sorry. Liz Aloche says, Owen, why do you have the prediction line while John doesn't? John does, but you're seeing my stream, so you can only see what I see as a player.
I mean, no, I don't. Like, I'm better than that.
John's in VR, actually playing real pool.
That's right. I'm actually at a pool hall, playing snooker.
And all the Americans around you are like, what game is this? Don't know why they have a British accent, as I already specified they were American. But,
forsooth! What devilish contraption do you have before us?
Okay, so John wouldn't be the next Dexter. Well, it depends.
No.
Are you talking killing serial killers or having a secret lab?
Yeah, because I probably need a lab to make this tiny C4 explosives.
But you would also have to have an idiot sister to come and ruin everything.
Right. I'm an only child, too. Shit.
Well,
ruined.
So I think I got mine fairly planned out. And I would be the world's first magician serial killer.
I thought that existed. I honestly did. I thought there was a magician who killed people.
But did they kill them in public magic tricks? Because that is what I'm gonna do.
Just claim that they're accidents?
No, I figure I'll do things like, look, I realize I did kill that woman, but it's consensual. 300 people will heard me say into the audience, who would like me to saw them in half? And admittedly, by the 6th or 7th show, people will stop volunteering, but I will have officially qualified for serial killer status by then, I think.
Well, how many do you have to kill to actually...
I think it's 3, but they have to be, like, separate occasions. So, like, a mass murderer is someone who goes out and kills, like, 5 people all at once, right?
Can I get, like, a coupon where I only have to kill 2 but still get the status?
I don't know. I don't think it counts. But then a spree killer is someone who kills several people, maybe not all at once, but it's all part of, like, one psychological break, shall we say. One period of killing, right? But a serial killer is someone who kills 3 people, at least 3 people, and there has to be like a space for thought in between each one. You know what I mean? A stopping point, and then a starting again.
Sure. So real quick, Christian Skywalker says, I haven't seen any Dexter's Laboratory episode except for the band episode where they actually swore on the show. No, they didn't actually swear, because I've seen that as well. They are actually very clever about hiding all the words, but it gets just close enough where the executives weren't comfortable airing the episode. But no, there's no actual hearable swear words.
And to be honest, when those things pop up, a lot of them, from the older days of TV before the internet, a lot of them aren't actual shows anyway. I mean, that one is, but there are a lot of old animated things where they were actually like rap party videos and things like that.
Right.
What the hell?
Are you gonna go?
No. It wasn't, I kept pressing X and it wasn't connecting my shot. I kept turning my Q instead of putting me into shot mode, which was annoying. Dexter's Lab is a great show, by the way. I thoroughly recommend people watch it. It's incredibly funny. Tune in for some of the very most wonderful episodes. The one where Dexter accidentally ends up in the old part of the lab is really good. Look, it's R2-D2! The Chupacabra episode is really good.
One of my favorites is they're in the truck stop, and he has to build the arm for his dad to compete in the arm wrestling.
I love that one, and I love the first one I ever saw when he has to go do dodgeball because the gym teacher won't take his excuse for gym anymore, and he makes like the exosuit.
Yes, that's right. I particularly like the one where him, an Irish kid, and a French kid get all picked on because of their accents. And like through the whole time, like no one can still identify what his accent is. Like well, I'm French and I'm Irish. What are you?
I think the all-time greatest episode of Dexter's Lab is the one where the ice cream man won't stop and he can't figure out why. You seen this one?
No.
So good. All the way through he's trying to chase down this ice cream man. And no matter what he does, whenever the ice cream man comes to town, he won't stop. Dexter can never get himself an ice cream. And he, you know, the whole episode of him concocting these various inventions trying to catch up with the ice cream man, but each time the ice cream man gets away. And eventually, he manages to track him down and corner him and say, "Why won't you stop?" And the ice cream man tells a story. He says, "I come to this country with big dream. It is first day on job. Everyone buys ice cream and is happy. Then you arrive. You order most expensive ice cream." And he points to this ice cream on the side, and it's like $10. He says, "I suggest perhaps cheaper ice cream, but no, you want expensive ice cream." And then he says, he gives her the ice cream, and then Dexter hands over this jar of pennies.
Oh.
He says, all procedures say that all cash supplements over $5 must be stored in safe, so I must catalog exact amount. I am late counting your pennies. When I get home, my wife leaves me. I lose job. I lose home. All because of you and your pennies. It's really good.
Let's see. Chaos says, Animaniacs was probably still dirtier. Fingerprints or fingerprints? You judge by Dot's reaction. Yes. That is probably one of the filthiest things that ever got past censors or execs in a cartoon. For those of you who don't know, there's an episode of the Animaniacs where they're doing this old school detective story. And if you guys don't know like anything about noir or these old detectives, they use a lot of metaphors and a lot of slang. How they talk. And so what they did is they used all that slang, but then made it literal. So like oh yeah, like, oh no, he's packing a heater, and it shows him like holding like a little space heater in his hand instead of a gun. You know, like, we beat pavement down to the Coca-Cabana Club, and show them just hammering on the pavement as they're walking down there. That sort of thing, right? Well, there's this one bit, though, where they get into a crime scene, and Yakko goes, Dot, check for Prince. And it shows her holding a cartoon version of Prince, you know, Purple Rain himself. And he goes, no, fingerprints. And she goes, I don't think so. Right? As in, yeah, easily one of the dirtiest things that ever made it through on a cartoon.
There is a very famous episode of The Simpsons where The Flintstones, where everyone, whenever it airs in rotation, everyone complains to Cartoon Network because Wilma says bollocks in it. But she doesn't say...
I think we've had this conversation before.
Oh, maybe.
For some reason I remember that now.
She doesn't actually say... Apparently scripted, she doesn't actually say bollocks the way we would say bollocks. But apparently it's some arcane usage to bollocks something. B-O-L-L-U-X. Right. They haven't used since the 60s, you know?
Right. Well, it's like it has to be kind of awkward considering, like, the theme song, right? To the Flintstones is something that's been widely, like, discussed because the song goes, "We'll have a gay old time,"
right?
Which, you know, I mean, most people even nowadays probably are aware of the meaning of gay as happy. But I would imagine there's probably plenty of people who don't realize the second meaning to that and just assume it as homosexual. So for them, hearing that theme song, it's "we're gonna have a gay old time." It's like, well, like what? See here, Mystic the cute blue alien says, "Do it prefer to have a beard or no beard? I prefer to be clean shaven because I'm at the awkward age where I have hair, but not enough to make a nice beard." I'm
still at that age.
Yeah, it's like, like I can grow a pretty decent beard. The only problem, mine doesn't ever really grow long or out. It like my beard is very, very curly. So when it grows a lot, it just kind of grows outwards, like a big like fuzzball,
like a face afro.
Yeah. But it also means that I have a really good facial hair for keeping a short beard, so I can kind of keep it past that 5 o'clock shadow, and it looks like a full beard, but I don't have to grow any more than that. So.
My beard just grows down past my jawline almost. I don't get a lot of face beard.
Right. Oh, you have the Amish beard.
Yeah, whether I want it or not. So, we said we'd talk about...
Ishmael.
We said we'd call me Ishmael. We said we'd talk about E3 this week. Yep. Should we do this? Should we do conference by conference, but not in like a huge amount of detail?
I don't know. Yeah, you have to go that far.
No. I just mean like highs and lows from each one. I don't mean like a full run through. So
sure. Okay.
EA. What did you like with EA?
EA. I like their I don't want to say commitment or doubling down, but A Way Out was successful for them. Actually more successful than I thought it was. When they actually revealed the numbers, I was kind of surprised. But they apparently are taking that mentality of, hey, we have a smaller game from a smaller studio, we're going to give them support and see if we can make a closet hit, right? The kind of like that sleeper hit. And it seems like they're going to try to do it again with this Sea of Solitude. Which looks interesting. I think it looks really cool, art-wise. I like that. I thought that was pretty neat. Anthem intrigues me. I've heard a lot of people talking bad about how like what they saw, like killed all excitement for them with the game. It had the exact opposite effect on me. I was a little skeptical going in, going, oh god, here's another one of these games where it's going to be these huge grandiose promises, you know, where it's going to be a transformative property that's going to change the landscape of the medium altogether, and blah 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 blah. You know, like how they talk about Destiny,
right?
And you know, stuff like that. But when they showed it, it's like, no, it's going to be a 4-person co-op shooter game, you know, with classes. It's a class-based shooter. Like, that's cool to me. Like, that's more interesting than some bullshit, fake, epic narrative, you know.
I was actually surprised how little they had to show for it. Because they showed... I mean, like, I think Anthem's looking great, and I'm looking forward to playing it. But they showed, concept art, which, by the way, they looped. They showed the same sets of concept art twice.
It was more than that. There was one shot where they showed that like 6 or 7 times. I was like,
and then the rest, it was just mostly people flying around with jetpacks quite slowly. And as much as I think the game looks great, they didn't pick the best stuff to show it off, I thought. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, and I think they also I don't think they showed even a large part of what they're working on right now, to be honest.
Right.
They put a lot of time on the sports games, but they seem to have, like, okay, they had Anthem, which was like, okay, big original thing. They talked about Battlefront 2. They didn't really say anything really that's going to turn around that, I think.
To me, that was key of, like, okay, clearly EA does not have a ton of shit to show. Because if they had to bust out, you know, Battleground or Battlefront 2, like, that's not great.
Well, sure, but they're also, presumably, because of the Star Wars license, contractually obliged on some level to show that they've adequately promoted that. You know what I mean? And things like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Disney themselves are like, yeah, you can probably let that one die. Because, like...
Please!
Yeah, like what they did to that game is going to hurt the Star Wars brand itself, you know? Especially when it comes to video games.
Right, and, like, licensed games aren't normally good. But it's very rare they actually are so bad that they impact on the license. But I thought, really, the most interesting thing they did was, I guess, like, so I think Unravel 2 looked pretty good. And that was probably my highlight from EA's show. But I have to say, they didn't have a ton of, like, oh, and we've also got these kind of artsier indie games, too. They didn't have a lot of that stuff either, you know?
No, but I think they had the ones that look the best.
Oh, get in the pocket! Fine.
I hope that's what you say to, like, your wallet every time you have to put it away, too. Get in the pocket! What?
Yeah, when I want to put my wallet in my pocket, I do actually get a large stick out and do some simple geometry and actually bounce it upon 3 different surfaces before it gets in there. I wouldn't mind, but it hurts like hell when it finally hits the buttocks.
Okay.
Oh, great. John left the party. John's internet is the worst right now, so now I have to carry the show. Hopefully he didn't completely lose the game. I'm going to keep playing, and we'll see if John can get back in the party in a minute. So how are you guys doing? Let me see if I can catch up with the chat. Hog says, I hope Anthem is more like Borderlands and not like Destiny, being forced to play with others. I don't know. That wouldn't really bother me. I've grown to like that genre of game. So I would have been the same. I would have felt exactly the same way until recently, but they have actually. Oh, there we go. We lost John. Well, presumably John will pop in a moment to tell us how we're doing. Easiest game ever. Damn right I won. Well, presumably we'll kick in and do some more of this in a moment, but we need to find out if John's actually getting back to us. John's been having a few internet issues lately. Unfortunately, it has actually played in with our last show and a couple of other recent streams, but hopefully we'll sort that out. Other than that, I'll just catch up with the chat and talk to you guys, see how we're doing. I'll talk about my own conference feelings, then hopefully we can actually get John back without too much of a wait. I'm just going to pull up my my contacts here so he can get in touch with me if he needs to. And I'll just keep up with the chat for a little bit, so send me your messages and we'll see what we can do. Mystique says, welcome to Totally Not Biscuits. Yes, indeed. We have no new messages. It's the quiet Those Aren't Biscuits stream, so there's nothing to add. But other than that, how you guys doing? I hope you're well. So let's see, what conferences was I enjoying with E3 while we're talking about it? Oh no, Unravel. I'll talk about Unravel. So I haven't played the first Unravel, which was something I kept meaning to get to. I did keep meaning to play that and see if I could actually get to it. In fact, when I had the free trial of EA Access, I did actually install it, and I always meant to actually get to it and have a little bit of fun with it, but never did. So Unravel 2 was a chance to actually play with...
Hello?
Hey! You're back!
What happened to you?
Nothing. You left the party and you left the game.
No, it sort of told me that you left you killed the party.
No. Nope.
And that that's what it told me. It said that this party does not exist anymore.
I was just here playing. This is the same party.
Yeah, because it was gone for a long time, and then it just popped back up on my list.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Remember before we started, and I said, is your internet just going to be the worst today?
I honestly think it was you. I think it was on your end this time.
Nope.
I do.
Because you left the game, too.
It was.
I didn't leave the game. It wasn't on my end.
I was still playing.
Yeah, me too. I got the same message.
Whatever. Invite me to another one. EA, EA, I think out of all of them was the most E3 of E3 conferences.
Yes.
You know?
Unravel looked interesting. The big games looked interesting, but we'll see how they've planned to screw them up. And the sports games don't really interest me, I guess. I don't have a ton to say about EA, to be honest.
Yeah, EA just wasn't really all that. Yeah, EA wasn't really anything.
So Microsoft brought the games, but they also...
Microsoft hit hard.
They had a really good show, but also by bringing so many games, they did manage to disguise the fact that not a lot of those games were exclusives. Which doesn't really matter if you aren't a Microsoft associate, but you know.
I mean, are you suggesting that they were trying to hide that at all?
Well, I mean, I would be if I had as few exclusives as the Xbox One, but
because I'm thinking that what really hurt them about hiding that is the fact that they said it at the beginning of every one, going exclusive. World premiere.
Yeah.
They sort of listed what the game was. I don't think they were trying to hide the fact that anything was exclusive and whatnot.
But they didn't have many, did they? Like, what would you say the big exclusive was? Oh no, I know. The big Xbox
like
One
18,
exclusive,
wasn't it?
Beg your pardon?
I think like 18 exclusive that they announced.
Yeah, well, a lot of those exclusives were timed or also on PC.
Well, of course it's going to be. Well, literally everything that is exclusive is going to be on PC too because their Xbox app thing. They made that a point.
But what I mean is that there weren't a ton of things that were true, legit, complete forever exclusives in that. Mostly the first party stuff. Like, I don't think, but I mean that's how it is these days. But they didn't have that many, I thought, really. They still don't. They need to get more out, to be honest.
I honestly, this press conference did more to make me actually want an Xbox than anything else they've done. Like, I thought this was actually a really good show for them, and... Oh. You still with me?
Yeah.
All right, so I just got a message that said PlayStation Network is undergoing maintenance.
Oh, good time for the stream then.
Right. So, well, let's see what happens.
So, what would you say was the big Xbox games that you were looking forward to that you would make you pick up an Xbox then?
I think for me, what really interested me wasn't so much a specific title, but it was the bringing of those companies under the umbrella. Especially like Ninja Theory.
Yeah, that was a pretty big coup. Because Ninja
Right.
Theory's quite well respected at the moment. You know, they've been doing a lot of good stuff.
Right. Although I was kind of upset that... Was it during the... It must have been during the Xbox One where they announced that they were doing the Devil May Cry, right?
I don't think that's an exclusive, though.
No, I'm kind of trying to remember what... Yeah, it had to be that press conference, because I can't think of anywhere else they would have announced that.
You didn't like that?
Well, no. Well, what bothers me about it is that, from what I understand, is that game is what killed Dragon Scale.
Oh, that looks so good.
Yeah. Well, it's gone now. It will never see the light of day.
Well, apparently it was never really in a very good place.
Right.
I think, you know, I'll say this. I know it's a bit of a cliche answer, but I'm more interested in the next Halo that I've been for about 4 Halo games.
Yeah. Gears, I actually think looked kind of interesting as well. And I've never been a fan of Gears.
Yeah, although it looks...
Maybe saw the SJW.
It looks like we're coming in a bit at the end of an ongoing Gears plot with that, though. Like, I hear the plot's getting quite intricate along the line with Judgment and 4 and all that, and I don't know if I want to keep up with Gears.
Right.
But you know...
I guess, with Gears 4, it starts off the new plot line. Judgment is like its own thing unto itself.
I should clarify, though. I mean, are you talking about the new Gears or the Funko Pop Gears?
You know what? The Funko Pop Gears thing looks kind of cool too.
I wonder if it'll be like the Lego games.
That's what I'm thinking it's gonna be, which is exciting to me because depending on what kind of games they are, might be more interesting to me than the Lego games are. Because honestly, I don't have a huge love for the Lego games. I never have. I think the Lego games shtick wears off very quick for me.
They've made some nice variations with it. They have back and forths, I think. The last Lego Star Wars, well, not the last one. The Lego Star Wars 3 they made that was based on the Clone Wars was very tired, and the levels felt like they were getting really long and ridiculous. But then you have these occasional ones that are like a breath of fresh air, like Lego Marvel 1 is great. And actually, Lego Harry Potter, the first one, is exceptional because they really changed the game up a lot to make it feel like Harry Potter, refocus it around spells and magic and upgradable spells. It's not really a platforming game as much as it's a puzzle game involving having different spells. But what really makes that one work is the hub world is a Hogwarts that you go through for 4 school years of levels, and you learn unlocks as you go and get access to different areas as you go up in different school years and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So it feels like you've spent time at the school. It's really weird.
See, that's always been the weirdest thing for me when it comes to... God damn it. That's always been the weirdest thing when it comes to Harry Potter. For me, is... Okay, look. I'm gonna blow everyone's mind right here, alright? I've never read all the Harry Potter books. I've never seen all the Harry Potter... I've never seen all the Harry Potter movies, alright? I've seen the first 3 Harry Potter movies, and I've never even, like, made it through the first book, alright? So, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, alright? But the thing that seems so weird to me when it comes to fandoms of Harry Potter, especially Harry Potter, is people are like super into the idea of like being back at school. And that's the weird thing for me, where it's like, it's not so much like, oh, we're spells and wands and there's monsters around. Like, I want to go back to class. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, I get like young kids being into it because it's a really cool concept of what high school could be for them because they haven't experienced it yet. Or it's like, yeah, this is what high school is like. We'll all get sorted into our own little houses and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, high school is going to be great, right? But for people who've been through high school, like, why do you want to go back?
Well, some people really like it, high school.
Yeah.
I know people who do genuinely think that high school was the best days of their lives. And you have to explain to them when you say you hated it. You have to explain to them, no, you, like, there are two, like, layers of kids in school. You know what I mean? One layer gets to enjoy it and the other layer doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it works.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. I didn't mind high school. I didn't have a particularly horrible time with high school. I wasn't popular by any means, but I was the interloper when it comes to like popularity. Like, I could hang out with like any clique. Like, I was social enough I can do that, but I wasn't particularly friends with any of them. Yeah, I managed to make it through high school relatively just unassuming. So, but like the thing that I didn't like about high school was fucking the work aspect. You know, like I didn't want to do homework then, and I don't want to do homework now, especially magic homework. Like I don't want to fucking do it. And plus, like, everyone talks about like going to Hogwarts as if they're going to be the popular character or the hero or whatever. Like, chances are you're the unnamed character who gets fucking turned to stone, like because you fucking forgot your combination to your locker. Like, that's what's probably gonna happen to you. You know, you're not gonna be the chosen one. You're not gonna be the chosen one's girlfriend. You're not gonna be the chosen one's best friend. You're not even gonna be the crappy friend who turns them all in at the end and ruins their little rebellion. Like, you're not gonna be any of those person. You're gonna be the kid who is gonna be in the lunchroom while the battle for Hogwarts is going on. Are we not having lunch today? You know, or you're gonna be the kid who parents take them out of class for a week to go on some really shitty vacation, and when you get back, the whole school's gonna be ruined. Like, what did I miss? Oh, you weren't there at the Battle of Hogwarts? Oh man, it was great. You should have fucking been there. Everyone died. Yeah, like that's the reality of going to Hogwarts. And so why do you want to go back there?
I don't know, I just thought the game was fun. There we go, I finally pot one of the damn things.
Tiny Bastard says, that doesn't happen in the books, by the way. There's no locker spells. There's no lockers. Okay, fine. They're magical bags of holding, or whatever the hell they use in that, right?
I think they just
have
keep
to put
stuff
their shit somewhere.
I think they just keep stuff in the common rooms, to be honest. Is it worth mentioning, by the way, I sort of feel obliged to point out, because you were being disparaging to this concept earlier, but the first thing I did on my first day in high school was get sorted into my house. Like, I went to a high school with houses.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did. You weird. That's just weird to me. Like, yeah. The forced like camaraderie is always a weird thing to me.
Well, yeah, but it's not that false when you consider that it's only divided a giant school into quarters, and also nobody gave a shit. It was forced but failed, I suppose.
So sorry, we got off track. No. The
Oh,
Pop
you think?
Funko stuff. I think. Yeah. The Pop
No,
stuff,
tell
the
us
Pop
more
Funko stuff.
about these children and teens enjoying their books. Jonathan, defeat that scourge.
Fine. All right. What's next? Divergent? Fuck that shit. Like, once again, you're not the chosen one. You're not Divergent. You're gonna be like a nurse, or you're gonna be assigned to like.
Okay, no, stop this one and talk
labor,
about a property I know about. Otherwise, I don't get to find this funny.
I don't even know what is a pipe. Okay, Hunger Games. All right, guess what? You're not the fucking Mockingjay. All right, you're not the girl on fire. You're the homie from District 10 who gets killed in the first opening salvo of the thing. You know, like after they tell you like, hey, maybe you shouldn't go to the cornucopia. It's a bad idea. It's a bloodbath. You're gonna be like, oh shit, look, a gun. I'll go for the gun, and you're gonna get like chopped in the forehead with an axe. Like that's the reality. All right, you're not the hero. You're not even Rue. All right. How's that for you?
No, keep going. Let's do them all. Any other franchise people have got hopes and dreams and fantasies about? Let's just trash them. Let's do it all. You ever read Biggles?
Everyone.
If you went to World War I, you'd die in the trenches. You wouldn't get to be a pilot. Fuck you, Biggles fans. I don't even know if you know what Biggles is. I don't care.
I don't.
Biggles was a series of... This is actually quite funny. Biggles was a series of World War One, like, adventure books for boys, right? And he was a World War One pilot. His name was, like, Captain Bigglesworth, but all his friends called him Biggles. And you know what I mean? They were like old adventure stories. He was a pilot. He'd fly behind enemy lines and do missions and do rescues and things like that. They were pretty popular.
That's right. Okay. So
but they made a movie in the 1980s. They were like, let's make a Biggles movie. You know what we need? A Biggles movie. But I think it was in the 90s. No, it must have been the 90s because John Deacon did the soundtrack. The only thing he did, other than being Queen, he did the soundtrack to the Biggles movie. And they decided, obviously, a movie about, you know, a World War I flying ace in the era of, like, just kind of post-Return of the Jedi and stuff wouldn't be very exciting, would it? We should make a movie where an American, because we want to try and sell this movie to the American audience, discovers, in the present day, that he is Biggles' time twin and keeps accidentally traveling back in time to join Biggles on adventures in World War One. And the ending of the movie is it goes the other way. This guy, as a result of his time adventures, he keeps getting himself caught in these crazy situations, and the police get called on him because he travels back in one of the World War I sequences. He's firing a gun, and then he gets transported back to the present day randomly while he's holding the gun, and he just starts firing it at random people. He's still just shooting it. So everyone's like, "This guy's got a gun. Let's stop him." The police start chasing him. So Biggles comes to the future to him to help him escape, and they escape by stealing a police helicopter. And then they suddenly travel back to World War I and help win the First World War with the help of a modern-day police helicopter. It's great. It's a really bad movie, but it's really worth finding if you can find it. Biggles. It would be like if someone made imagine if, like, Conan the Barbarian had still stayed, like, a relatively minor character, and someone had just made a movie of him in the 90s set in, like, the disco era of 1975.
Oh, I'm so down with that.
I'd love it.
Conan the Dancing Queen. Okay, so Tiny Best Secret says, I don't think that most people think that they are part of the worlds they enjoy. Is because you're really playing pool right now? Have you become confused with escapism as entertainment? No. All right. What that really is for me is
you hate people having fun. Yeah, we all know.
No, I don't mind that. I do take particular issue when fandoms go like a little bit further than just enjoying a property, because I think it's actually hurtful to entertainment as a whole. Like stuff like, you know, the fact that there is a officially licensed way to have my house chosen for me, right? Like I can go on the Pottermore website and take a stupid little personality quiz, and they'll tell me what my Hogwarts house is, what my house is of the weird American version of Hogwarts that no one fucking cares about. I can find out what kind of
burger
wand I have.
grinders, the confederations, the Yankinators, the Yankinators, and the concealed carry permit holders.
But yeah, I can find out what kind of wand I have. I can find out what my Patronus is. Oddly enough, my Patronus is a bottle of Patron.
Judd does the whole quiz and he says, alright, what kind of wand did I get? This comes back, small. Aww.
It comes back, Colt 45. Like, oh shit.
I haven't even put my nationality in yet.
It just knows. But no, it's stuff like that, right? Where people.
I'm just thinking of the American transfer student goes to Ollivanders. You know, they say the wand chooses the wizard, and then an AK-47 just starts jumping out of the book. Oh, you must be the American student.
I'm making the choices now, wand bitch. But no, cause yeah, it's stuff like that where it gets people like super invested into extraneous parts of the property, right? And it always starts out as like, oh, really good fun. Like, yeah, it'd be really cool to find out what house I'm in Hogwarts. It'd be really fun. Oh, you found out? Oh, you're a Ravenclaw? Fascinating. Now look at this wonderful catalog of merchandise that I had that is purple and black. All for you, Ravenclaw. You know, it's like that shit sucks, and it ruins like property and creativity because it just feeds on people's desire to like want to be part of these worlds. It drives.
So here's something that, because I've been playing this Jurassic World Evolution game. Here's something similar that kind of feeds into this, right? And I want to know how you feel about this, right? So the whole theme of the first Jurassic Park movie, right, is if you take Jeff Goldblum's character as a basis, because he's the character who basically says the themes out loud frequently, right? And one of his main objections is John Hammond is rich, right? And because he's rich, he can hire the greatest experts and buy the greatest technology, but he didn't like suffer for this discovery. He just had the idea, and he paid people to do it, and then he brought these animals back, and now they're a commodity, right? They're just a theme park attraction with no thought about the fact that these are animals that he can't control, right? But also the fact that they are the science behind it and all this thing that should be wonderful to Hammond is just another pair of Mickey Mouse ears. You know what I mean? The Jurassic Park franchise still presents dinosaurs like velociraptors. Even though we know they now have feathers, it presents them as the original Jurassic Park 1 velociraptor design. And Jurassic Park 1 was one of the things that was so great about it. Jurassic Park 1 is It was hugely influential in popularizing the idea that dinosaurs were basically birds, which we know now to be true. We know now that there's very little distinction between them, right? We know that they're warm-blooded. Or the current consensus is that they have kind of an in-between between warm blood and cold blood. Jurassic Park popularized that view. Jurassic Park was so well researched about dinosaurs that it pushed forward our understanding of the science of dinosaurs, right? And now it's deliberately displaying inaccurate perceptions of dinosaurs.
Yeah,
because those dinosaurs are the
on.
Jurassic Park dinosaurs.
Right, but see, that's the problem, right? You can do that with the first Jurassic Park movie, all right? Because once you make the first Jurassic Park movie, what you've now done is created a universe that has its own science, a universe that has its own like rules and laws, all right? For them, like, it wouldn't make any sense creatively if you have the first Jurassic Park where, like, oh yeah, we have this science, and based on the science, we created these dinosaurs, right? And then come Jurassic World 2, now all the dinosaurs are covered in feathers, make weird high-pitched squeaky noises instead of roar, and look completely different than Jurassic Park 1. Because what that means is all the science that made the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park 1 doesn't exist. And you can't have science that just doesn't exist in that universe. So no, of course it doesn't make sense, and of course it's wrong now, Owen, because it's not the first. If it was still the first movie, then yes, you can make them covered in feathers and you can do whatever you want with them. But you can't do that because it's not the first anymore. So, meh.
Fair enough. I just thought it was an interesting change. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm a little riled today. I won't lie. I'm firing in all cylinders. What the hell is that thing that Alex Jones always says? Like, it's that classic rant that he goes on and everyone makes fun of him about. Where it's, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, he's like, I'm angry, I'm fed up, I'm a throwback, I'm classic, I got fire in my blood, and blah, blah, you know, he just goes on for like 5 minutes, just losing his damn mind. It's pretty good.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Mystique the Cubulian in the chat says, holy shit, I watched that film and never knew the name. Is it the one where the woman almost dies? I have no idea what they're talking about.
I think he's talking about the Wibble, or the Biggles.
Oh.
Right?
Maybe. Could be talking about Biggles. Is it the one where the woman almost died? That doesn't really narrow it down, though, because any movie with an action scene and tension involving a woman is a film where a woman almost dies, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. KGM says, good stream for E3 thoughts.
The Wiggle. Liz Locha just says, the Wiggle. Yeah, I like that. The Wiggles. You should definitely check out. You should definitely check out the Biggles movie. It's more insane and crap than you could possibly believe.
You know what's probably gonna happen? I'm gonna search it out. I'm gonna find the Wiggles movie.
Oh, it also has the most. It also has the most racist ending.
Oh, good.
So, so the whole gimmick of the film is that when Biggles is in trouble, this guy from the future zaps to him to help, right?
Sure.
And he's getting information about what's going on from a character played by Peter Cushing, who's in the present day, and he used to be Biggles' commanding officer, and Biggles told him about all this at the time, so he already knows what's going to happen, right? And he's like the mentor figure. And then he says, unfortunately, we lost Biggles after the war, when he went on an expedition to Africa. And then they're like, oh, what? And he zaps again, and he just spawns in, and Biggles and all his friends are like in a giant pot under fire, being surrounded by
God.
the cliche cannibal tribesmen dancing around. And then they all stop to kind of worship him as a god because he's just appeared out of nowhere. Yeah, it's not a great ending.
Okay, let's try to jump back onto E3 real quick.
Well, I'm frightened to have an opinion now. I might get full blast. Anyone would have thought I'd said I wanted to go to Hogwarts.
You know, I actually brought that up about the Jurassic Park thing. I actually heard that exact same thing. Someone talking about, like, oh, dinosaurs don't look like that anymore, on a different podcast, and for some reason it really annoyed me when they were talking about it. Not when you said it, because I actually got what you were coming from, but when I heard on a different podcast, they were basically discussing how like how the original Jurassic Park was stupid because it got it wrong. It's just...
Well, the original Jurassic Park got very, very little wrong for what we knew at the time.
Right.
There's a common misconception that Jurassic Park got velociraptors wrong. Because what they say is velociraptors are about the size of chickens, you know? Right, and they're small and beaked. But the dinosaur that velociraptors are based on in Jurassic Park is a dinosaur called Deinonychus. But at that time, in the 90s, while it was more commonly known as Deinonychus, it was also known as Velociraptor Australopus, something, one of those fussy dinosaur names, and was thought to be a type of raptor. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the other stuff people complain about, people go, oh, well, there's no evidence Dilophosaurus is poisonous, and they just made that up. Yeah, but when they introduced Dilophosaurus in the film, they say, we now know it to be poisonous. As in, we made one and it turned out to be poisonous. You know what I mean?
Right.
They weren't saying, this is what scientists say. They were saying, this is something you could only know if you made one. And we made one.
Well, and like, that's the weird thing to me about, like, classification of, like, dinosaurs especially. Where it's like, well, that's not actually what it was. It's actually this. You know, it can be whatever the fuck you want it to be, alright? Like, that's the thing that gets me. It's like, there's no dinosaur that's gonna, like, pop up and go, it's not my name! You know? Like, that's not gonna happen. So, like, it's like, okay, the one that got me was like the Brontosaurus, right? You know, everyone knows the classic story behind the Brontosaurus. All right, they had this one dinosaur, and
classic
then they got the
Brontosaurus.
Well, okay, you've heard about the story, right? How the Brontosaurus doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, it's like it's now the same as the Brachiosaurus. They thought it was two different ones, and it's not.
Right, but it's like, well, it's when they realized that they got it wrong, they renamed it as the Brachiosaurus, and said, oh, well, this is what the Brontosaurus actually is. So we changed the name to Brachiosaurus. It's like, you don't have to do that. That's not necessary. It could still have been the Brontosaurus. You're gonna go, okay, no, it's still a Brontosaurus. We just changed the shape of the head because we got it wrong.
I could be wrong, but I don't think that's exactly what happened. I think they had another existing dinosaur called a Brachiosaurus, and they realized that what they thought was a Brontosaurus was actually one of them.
Well, you know what you do then in this situation? You know we have to, like, hit specific colors right now, right?
Yeah, I'm zoning out. Carry on.
They should have taken the more popular one, because everyone knew what the fuck a Brontosaurus was. No one knew who the hell a Brachiosaurus was. The only reason anyone knows what a Brachiosaurus is because eventually everyone had to explain the whole shit behind a Brachiosaurus not being a Brontosaurus. That's the only reason anyone knows what the hell a Brachiosaurus is anymore.
Well, then we also have to get onto the
allergies.
We have to get onto, like,
because they sneeze on people.
We also have to get onto, like, the ultimate dinosaur debate. Is it pronounced Diplodocus or Diplodocus?
Diplodocus.
You go with Diplodocus? See, I was brought up in a Diplodocus household.
This here house is a Diplodocus house. You don't bring none of that Diplodocus in here.
I've also heard that they have theories about that, like a couple of other dinosaurs too. Like, they think that T-Rex maybe didn't have little arms now, that it was just eating something smaller with the one they found, but they're not sure because they found quite a few T-Rexes, but I think there's only one that's complete to the arms. I could be wrong. Right. And then, there's been some speculation about whether Triceratops is actually just, a Torosaurus at a different age. Because they do look pretty similar.
Right. Well, and then like like the Stegosaurus, like no one actually knows how those plates are actually aligned on its back. That's just their best guess because the one that makes the most sense.
It was just playing cards when it died and dropped them all. Full house. What's that in the sky?
Like he just got done losing and he was like just did a table flip like ah,
and then got a heart attack and just landed on the cards.
Stegosaurus died. He also spoke in a third person too. Stegosaurus, no.
At least my flat, smooth back will break my fall.
Oh, it would suck if I had a bunch of spines back there. You know, that's what all the ladies love about me. My nice smooth back. Like no one.
I hope in the future people remember what a beautiful smooth back I had. One day.
There goes Stegosaurus, the smoothest back motherfucker around. There he
goes.
The
world's first time-traveling Stegosaurus finally lands his time vessel at the Natural History Museum. No! My smooth back, forgotten by the waves of time!
Well, no, because we now know that dinosaurs didn't sound like that. So he would have shown up and...
Are you saying we now know? So there was a point in time when the paleontological community, their consensus. There was like,
yes,
excuse me, I would like to address the Institute of Dinosaur Studies. We currently believe Stegosaurus sounded something like this. Whoa, Stegosaurus got a smooth back.
Now, you may be confused because it sounds like the English sentence of, oh, Stegosaurus has a smooth back. But you're saying it wrong, alright? When placed together, it sounds more like a roar, alright? So you believe it sounds something more like... Stegosaurus got a smooth back!
You may ask how we know this, but the fossil record is quite clear.
Now, you wouldn't be... no one would hold it against you if you thought we were full of shit. But I assure you,
we actually have exceptional evidence on this Stegosaurus-owned fossil of a vinyl record of the leading Stegosaurus vocalist of the time, Doo-Wop Stegosaurus. Whoa, look my spool back! Wabbity-bap-bap-boo!
Now we flip over to the B-side. What do we have? Reflections of the way life used to be. Which you may be mistaken or the Supreme's hit Reflections. But I assure you, if you hear it slower, it sounds more like a roar.
Further on, we can find history's first known cover of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah.
Unsurprisingly done by Buckosaurus. Oh.
Buckosaurus.
It's Jeff Buckleysaurus.
One of the shortest-lived dinosaur species.
Another dinosaur shot him in the head.
Wiped out in the Great Flood. And here we present Cobainosaurus, which frequently traveled in herds, known as a nirvana.
Or Chaos is right next to Keith Richards' birth certificate. It's like, Keith, we now understand that you are aware of what the Stegosaurus sounded like. Can you give us any clue? Had the smoothest back I ever saw.
Stegosaurus told me to sing.
Tell me how to play this guitar.
What, Keith? What'd you say?
Yes, we too are sitting here just waiting on a friend. But, so dumb.
I still can't get the image of Stegosaurus throwing up the call table and keeling over.
Bullshit. And thus the first game of Monopoly came to an end.
We found a new Stegosaurus today. We believe the prime largest number of the plates was known as Park Lane.
I was gonna say, like, see, we took a closer examination of the plates. If you look closely under a microscope and with with it being irradiated, you can see clearly Baltic Avenue.
We also found what we believe to be Stegosaurus's baby teeth, consisting of a tiny race car shaped fossil, an iron, a thimble,
and a small puppy.
Of course, the resemblance is completely coincidental. Sir, are you sure you aren't just digging for dinosaurs in the old Goodwill? No!
But I do want to announce our latest find. Our new dinosaur, Parcheetosaurus Rex. Did you say
Jerry Maguire
Rex?
VHSosaurus.
No. Alright, everyone. We have discovered a new dinosaur. Alright? You guys ready for this? Speed.
All evidence suggests this dinosaur couldn't travel slower than 50 miles an hour. I'm so tired! Excuse me, sir, how did this dinosaur mate? Incredibly carefully and efficiently.
It used this mating call, which we have recreated as thus. Whoa. Wait, wasn't that just a recording of Keanu Reeves? No! No, it was not. How dare you? How dare you?
We believe this dinosaur was actually capable of firing superheated liquid at its enemies, which we're calling the Pop Quiz Hotshot.
Also revealed to you today is the lesser known and more mediocre cousin, the Cruise Controlosaurus Rex. Now, some might consider this to be Speed 2, but we know the truth. Or Chaos says his cousin Speed 2 was much larger, but not very popular among the other dinosaurs.
Sir, these don't sound like real dinosaurs. Everything's a dinosaur. Were you there? Were you in the past?
One of the reporters raises his hand. Well, I might not be no expert, but I would say that the Speed 2 dinosaur does have some redeeming qualities, as it featured Willem Dafoe's most nuanced performance. So says the carbon dating. So E3. No, okay. Let's okay. Back to E3. Let's just make this more generalized. Out of everything you saw, what do you think was the most exciting?
Oh, that's a good question, because I don't think personally there were a lot of hugely exciting announcements. Possibly for me, I thought the DLC for Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle looked a lot of fun. It looks almost like a complete new game, but as DLC. So if it's priced at, say, 20 quid, I'm going to pick that up and have a really good time with it, I think. Other than that, I would say, I don't know, maybe the, do you know what, the two Samurai Ninja games, the Souls one and Ghost of Tsushima, they looked pretty strong, I thought.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that was kind of the thing I'm most excited about, which is strange because it came from one of the press conferences that I liked the least. I really did not care for Sony's for a very specific reason, which we will get to in a little bit. But because expect more ranting coming up soon.
You didn't like Flute Man?
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
That and I thought Tunic looked pretty good actually for a little game.
Yeah, and that was an Xbox exclusive, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or it was in the Xbox show. I don't know if it was an exclusive. I'll check on that.
Yeah, Ori 2 looked really good, I thought.
Yeah, I need to play that first one. It made me want to go play the first one. I don't think there were a huge amount of. Do you know what? I think that I hesitate to say I think a mobile game was one of the most interesting games, but I think that Elder Scrolls procedural mobile game with the town building story mode looked fun.
Yeah.
And they said that's coming to consoles as well, right? And it's free, so yeah, free-to-play mobile game doesn't normally make my list, but that looked interesting. I've been much less interested in Fallout 76 since I found out there are no NPCs.
Right.
That really knocked that game for me. That's gonna. I'm with a lot of people who've said the same thing about that, which is whether or not I get that game's gonna depend very, very much on whether PvP is optional.
Right.
If you can be griefed all the time in that game, I'm not interested. And I don't think they'd be stupid enough to do that, but that would really put me off.
Let's see here. Yeah, I really like that Ghost of Tsushima, or I can never get that name right.
I think it's Tsushima, because I kept reading it as Tushima, which I thought was,
Tsushima!
Good.
I thought that looked really good.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of gameplay, but it looked good.
Well, you know what? I thought the gameplay that we did see looked really cool.
Yes,
actually.
that's why it's top of my list, I think.
Yeah, and beautiful. My God, that sequence where like the leaves were falling.
Yeah, was it pretty, John? Do you want to marry the sequence with the leaves?
I kind of do. Well, I don't really want to marry it.
Just fuck it.
You know, I want to have some dirty, filthy sex with it until we get bored of each other and then move on. You know, like most of my relationships with falling leaves.
With falling leaves.
just every autumn, there I am, just banging a pile of leaves.
Well, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this is going to trigger an episode. But so far, you've done all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, while we were watching that, I was furiously masturbating the whole time.
I'm just imagining just you getting at it like pink leaves in the middle of, like, you know, they've been raked into a pile in the middle of the park, you know?
Right.
You just dive in there, and you're humping away, right? And then the PlayStation logo just comes out with the, you know, the tone. And it just goes, PlayStation for the players.
I'm just like, I'm not a player, I just crush a lot.
And just behind you can just hear,
Well, we are currently in the days of
autumn.
play. PlayStation, where the players are. I'm fucking some leaves, yo! It's like, well, it's a metaphor. Nope, straight up having sexual intercourse with a pile of leaves. That's this guy right here.
What's got two thumbs but can't point at himself because he's supporting himself on two hands as he fucks a pile of leaves? This guy!
Me! And you know, that's honestly, that's one of my favorite bits from, I mean, the movie was fucking god-awful, but, Alien Resurrection, the guy in the wheelchair, was like, one has two thumbs, a giant pink tongue, and can breathe through his ears. Like, I thought that was actually legitimately funny. You remember that bit?
I do.
Yeah, I thought that shit was hilarious.
But then I've seen that film more times than it deserves. People give Alien Resurrection a lot of crap, but I have to say, it is
earned every bit of it.
But it is legitimately terrible. But it is one of the most watchable bad movies I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah, I'll give it that. It's kind of fun. Just feel like, oh, whatever.
It's fun. Like the direction for the Ripley character is atrocious, but it's still fun to watch Sigourney Weaver do it as atrociously as it is. And I also like, what's his name? Nick from Cheers as a serious general.
Right. See, it's funny because before that, I had only known him as the one of the asshole husbands from the First Wives Club.
Right.
Morty. Morty. There we go. God, why do we know that?
Well, it's really funny because he leaves his wife for someone who is very, very, very similar to Loretta from Cheers, which always makes me laugh. It's the same character, pretty much.
Right.
Just not quite as sleazy. That's a good movie, actually.
Well, yeah, it's not bad. You know, it's funny because you would think that okay, so God, we are going to go off on some damn tangents on this episode. But what I remember the most about the First Wives Club is that it came from this crop of movie where they kept on showing these scenes in the trailers as if they're like really big, intricate, like important parts of the film, but really wasn't. And the bit I always remember from that trailer was there's this like song and dance number where they sing this song, and it makes it seem like it's like this kind of big triumphant point in the movie, and it's really not. It's like it's just like a thing that they do.
Yeah. And it's actually
like,
it does play out at the end of the movie, but it's as they're kind of walking away to the credits.
Right. The other one that I remember a lot was Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts.
I've never seen that.
It's terrible. Okay, I'll explain why it's weird in just a minute. But there was this joke that was in the trailer, right? Where they're talking about Richard Gere's character, and they have this like little old lady, right? And the joke she makes, she goes, I think he has a nice butt. And everyone's like, oh my God, Grandma. And she's like, well, I do. And that's the joke. And she says it like that, right? And it's kind of a joke. But they kind of play it up as like this, like there's going to be like this dirty old grandma through the whole movie, which everyone loves. Everyone loves a dirty old grandma in these movies. That's literally the only part of the movie she's in. Like, that character does not exist otherwise. Now, that's weird. The other thing weird about The Runaway Bride is that there's the final, like, climax of the scene is literally holding Julia Roberts against her will to participate through this wedding. It's fucking weird. Right?
Have you seen this trailer for this new movie that I think is going to be... Because that kind of genre is coming back. Movies with, like, female casts centrally, you know? And that's fine. That's good. It's a good move. I'm sure someone's complaining about SJW stealing our romantic comedies. And, but, you know... I think this might be, like, the next Mamma Mia, like, the big hit with women film. And it's this one...
Mamma Mia 2?
No, it's quite different. It's this one about a group of women that read 50 Shades of Grey for their book club.
Oh, no. Actually, my mom watched that movie. She didn't care for it.
Interesting.
It's not very good.
I don't know. Well, I haven't seen it, obviously, but the trailer makes it look like it's going to be a hit, I think. I don't know. I feel like it might be.
It's not. It's already over. Like, it's been released, and it didn't do well at all.
Really?
Yeah. It did.
That was quick.
The main reason is that, from what I understand, the whole 50 Shades of Grey thing has so little to do with the movie. Like, it's the premise, like, that's, like, what it starts out as. Like, oh, yeah, all these women are going to rediscover their sexuality and stuff like that because of this book. And, like, they're going to... And like, what they make the trailer out to be like, oh, they're all going to try to experiment with, like, kinkier sex and, like, with a more liberated sense of sexuality that, you know, that this day and age has, as opposed to when they were kids. But what it comes down to, from what I understand, is it's just all these women who basically live really sad lives, and them dealing with their problems, and most of their problems aren't even sex, like surrounding sex.
Well, fair enough.
So your tiny best secret says, my gran has seen it, she loved it, it's doing better here, I think. Oh, fair enough.
I'm gonna...
yeah, like, it was completely passed over here. Like, no one even fucking knew about it.
I will tell everybody my friend John felt that it didn't have enough old women having sex, and that'll sell.
Well, you know what? Honestly, if the movie's gonna sell itself on a bunch of old women reading 50 Shades of Grey and be like, oh, let's give it a shot, then fuck it, I want to see that. All right. If I've chosen to watch this movie based on what I've seen in the trailer and I don't get that, I'm pissed. I'm gonna be upset. Call me weird, but
I want to imagine we have like a pick of the week for movies. It's like a little movie poster and then our endorsement. And your quote would be like,
not enough grandmas fucking.
a bunch of... No, it'd be your exact words. A bunch of old women having sex. I want to see that.
Yeah. Like, okay, don't get me wrong. I don't want to see the hardcore porn version of that, right? I don't want to see the graphic images.
Oh, are you saying old women's bodies are disgusting?
Yes, I am. But
we're getting in trouble for this one.
I want to see the romantic comedy PG-13 version of that.
So you think there should have been a movie like Calendar Girls?
Yeah.
But with like mild references to bondage.
Right. Yeah. I could enjoy a movie with old women being, you know, cheeky about sex and like nudity and stuff like that. Like, that's fine. Like, I think that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought the trailer looked good. I thought the trailer looked like a good film.
Yeah.
I was ready to learn how much Mary Steenburgen was prepared to open her mind I like Mary Steenburgen. She's good.
From what I understand, like she actually has the most like sexual of the storylines. And I guess if you want to go see it, I'm not going to spoil it, but my mom actually told me something about her character specifically that's really, really weird.
Is it she's playing the same character she played in Back to the Future 3, but nobody ever explains why?
No.
That because... because then we know why Doc Brown wanted to go back so much.
No, what it is I guess in the course of the film and her storyline, she actually like commits a very serious crime, but it's played off for like laughs. And it's especially weird considering like some of the stuff that's happening today in like Hollywood and stuff like that. Like, can I just tell you?
Sure, if you want. Spoilers for the film book club coming up.
Yeah. I guess she just straight up like drugs her husband into having sex.
Oh, fair enough.
Because like she's going through like crazy like sexual urges.
I trusted you,
like
Steenburgen.
Like she's having like
oh, damn.
You know, she has a very high sex drive right now, and her husband, who's played by, what the fuck's his name? He's the voice of Mr. Incredible. What the hell's his name? I can't remember the actor's name. All I ever remember is from the show Coach. Anyways, but anyways, he plays her husband, and he's an older man, and old men tend to lose their sex drive. So he,
Craig
she gets
T. Nelson.
There we go, Craig T. Nelson.
I don't think I know who that is.
Like I said, he's the voice of Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles. But yeah, so in order to try to have sex with him, she like slips him like 2 Viagras and then tries to come on to him, and he just freaks out over it. Like he's like, "Oh my god, like what's happening to me?" Anyways, so
from Poltergeist.
Really? That's where you... Oh my god.
What else would I know him from? I've seen The Incredibles, but he's just a voice in that.
Right. But like he looks like his voice too, you know? Like when I hear that voice, like that's what I imagine that voice looks like.
What else has he been in? Give me some movies.
And Coach. Like that show was... I don't know. Maybe that one didn't ever translate over to your side of the pond.
I'm looking up his IMDb right now. Oh, did I just run out of time? No, that's
probably.
Fine. I'm looking up his IMDb now, and he's been in nothing worth mentioning except for that show Coach and the Poltergeist movies and The Incredibles. And The Family Stone.
That one was actually not bad. That movie. No. So, what I'm actually excited for is my boy Keanu Reeves is going to be in the new romantic comedies here soon, and I think he has some of the best romantic comedies. I love him in romantic comedies, or just romance movies in general.
The only movie I can think of Keanu Reeves in that's even close to that kind of thing is, do you remember that movie Parenthood? I mean, he was pretty good in it.
Yeah. No, he's in two of my favorite like romance movies, and I actually think they're actually just kind of good movies in general.
Oh, yeah, no, it's true. I mean, he's that one where he's in the couple, the gay couple, and they have to pass the history test. And then there's that other one where they die, and they, it's a joke. I'm saying Bill and Ted was a romantic comedy. Did you get it yet? How much do I have to explain? Hey?
No, keep going.
Hey?
Keep going. Yeah.
That's all my material,
that
sorry.
Counts. Oh, come on! That doesn't count? That's lame.
Oh, will I play on or false continue? Who could possibly tell what we should do?
No, he was in 2 movies I really loved. One is A Walk in the Clouds. That's a great movie. Where he plays a chocolate.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
The balls went crazy.
I don't know what the hell happened there.
Are you running around with a magnet?
Yeah, because that's how this works. Me holding a magnet up to my television, one, doesn't destroy my television and affects the game.
No, you gotta hold it against your PS4 hard drive, just to you know.
But no, he's in Walk Out where he plays a chocolate salesman. He's a okay. It's set in the 1950s, all right. He plays a World War II vet.
What movie is this?
A Walk in the Clouds, right?
He plays a chocolate salesman.
He plays a World War II vet who is a chocolate salesman.
Is he selling chocolate, or is he a salesman made out of chocolate?
We were having such a good show. We were having a good time, Owen.
Oh yeah, that long rant about kids who want to go to Hogwarts was really sealing the deal.
Yeah, but see, I didn't. My rant wasn't, oh, what's so special about Hogwarts? They're just warts on a hog. Like, that wasn't my rant. But no, for the sake of the explanation, he was a salesman made out of chocolate. You got it right. And A Walk in a Cloud is after he melts, and then the sun evaporates him up into the sky. So for a brief moment of time, there's a storm cloud with just a little bit of chocolate inside, named Keanu Reeves. And it's a great story. Terry Gilliam directed it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's a good movie. You should check it out. The other one that he does I really, really liked was Sweet November. Do you ever see that one?
No. I haven't seen a huge amount of Keanu Reeves movies.
Yeah,
I've seen like the big ones. The Matrix, Speed, Bill and Ted, Point Break.
Point Break. Mr. T and the Women. Or Dr. T and his women.
Is that related to anything I said, or did you just decide to say Dr. T and his women?
No, that's a Keanu Reeves movie.
Sure it is.
The Lake House. You know, the big ones.
I haven't seen John Wick either. I've heard that's okay.
I actually haven't seen that either.
It doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah.
I really
want to see it, actually. I just haven't.
To my utter shame, I did see Constantine in the theater.
You know what? Constantine's better than people give it credit for. Constantine's not bad.
Do you think? I don't like it. But I hadn't read the comics, I just didn't like the movie. I read them now, but I hadn't read them at the time.
Constantine is... I would say that I don't think I wouldn't be thrilled if I had spent the money on the theater to see it. Which I did, actually. I did see it in the theaters as well. And that kind of annoyed me because
what are you talking about then? I wouldn't be thrilled if I paid in the theater to see it, which I did. That's not how these sentences work, John.
What I'm trying to say is, Constantine's a good movie to watch, like, midday, like, at home, by yourself. Like, it's not a theater movie. It's a fun one to watch, like, for free. You know? It's that kind of movie.
That would be the other sentence on our picks. Oh, I saw the one, the one where he was, the lawyer for Satan, you know. The Day the Earth Stood Still.
But yeah, okay. Okay, so what would you say is your most disappointing E3? thing
this year?
Yeah.
Sony's show. The whole thing.
You think? You think that's more disappointing than Nintendo's?
Oh god, you know, Nintendo's was so disappointing I blanked it from my brain. Yes, tuning into the Nintendo show to get the patch notes on the latest Super Smash Bros. Update. Yeah, no, I'll give you that. That was so bad. Why did they think anybody would want to watch that?
Sorry, real quick. Tiny Breath Secret says, something's gotta give is good, and just for John, there's Grandma's sexy time. Yeah.
Sinister Minister says helium, but I don't know what he's referring to.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry he's no Patrick Warburton. Nintendo, that sucked.
Oh, sorry, my controller's being... I'm trying to send you a challenge, but it's screwing... There we go. My controller was flicking the controls down.
No, you just withdrew the challenge. There we go. Okay.
My control's going a bit berserk. Did you accept that time?
Yep.
Okay, phew.
But no, Nintendo was the worst. Although it does... Nintendo had a horrible press conference. Just dog shit.
Fuck you, Nintendo. And all those kids, all those kids who used to say they wanted to go to the Mushroom Kingdom, fuck you as well.
You know who you're really gonna be in the Mushroom Kingdom? You're gonna be a block, and you're gonna be sitting there, turn into a block, and then the plumber's gonna come and destroy you, and you're just gonna be dead on the ground as rubble. That's what you're gonna be in the Mushroom Kingdom, all right?
Well, you know the blocks are the residents of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I read the manual.
No, you've just seen game theory. I'm on to you.
Shut up. Speaking of game theory, did you see their latest episode about the copyright thing? Kind of interesting.
No.
It's actually pretty interesting.
I'll take a look.
Especially considering, yeah. Anyways, no, it's up, but Nintendo did have my favorite moment from E3 as well. Not because it's good, but because of how pumped up they were about it, right? So, for those of you who didn't see the E3 Nintendo press conference, right? I would say 70% of it was, like Owen said, patch notes for the new Smash game coming out. And specifically, they went like character by character explaining what was different about them from the past Smash games, right? And then it gets to... it gets to the Wii Fit Trainer.
Quite simply because they're doing every character at this point. It's worth mentioning. They didn't think like the Wii Fit Trainer was a good one to highlight. They were doing them all. All of them.
Right. Every single one.
Even if like nothing worth mentioning had changed.
But it gets to the Wii Fit Trainer. And it's like, and for the Wii Fit Trainer, we changed the face. And what it does, it shows the comparison between the old face and the new face, alright? The old face didn't have any features. It was just like a white blank slate.
Right, looks nice though,
like,
I think.
Yeah. All they added were 2 blue lines for the eyes and another blue line for a mouth.
Still manages to look worse though.
It looked like some Nintendo exec's like 6-year-old daughter got a blue crayon and drew it. Excuse me.
It's what they said after that I thought was so funny. Did you hear what he said? So immediately after he announces this, he says, I did consider not changing Wii Fit Trainer, but it was a request from the developers of Wii Fit U. So after he said that, basically he reveals, like, he must have obviously thought the design was better too. Because he just went, yeah, I didn't really want to change that, but the makers of this game need the publicity.
Right. What?
They did also ruin.
To...
They did also ruin one of my favorite ever tweets. There's been a really great tweet going around for a while now, and it's a picture of Rey from Star Wars, and it says, 2 characters that are never coming to Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, it's in Ripley?
Daisy and Ridley. Which is a funny tweet, first time you see it, because people have asked for Daisy for a long time and asked for Ridley, and they brought them both, thus ruining the tweet forever. How dare Nintendo not consider this?
Oh, man. Oh, God, I'm trying to think. There's some tweet I saw, and I thought it was something to do with video games, but it was like... Oh, it was one of those situations where someone, like, asked for something in a game, and they're like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. And then it did happen, and someone went back to respond to the person 5 years later. Like,
yeah, it was Namco Bandai, and it was the Valkyria update. And they were talking about bringing more localizations and ports. And the guy said, what about the Tales of... Was it Vesperia or Valkyria? One of those. What about the complete version of that? And they went, no, not that one. And then they went back years later to say, okay, that one. Yeah. After it was announced. Yeah, it was great.
I thought that was great. Like, like that is like, that's pretty awesome.
My all-time favorite Smash Brothers image going out of circulation again, and it's the picture. It's like the new Challenger appears screen, and then there's a little cartoon of a guy holding a GameCube controller, and it says, "Guy who only plays Melee complains into battle."
You see that too, where it's like, oh, the GameCube controllers are compatible. Like, oh, for fuck's sakes, really? Like,
well, those GameCube controllers are really funny because they're
terrible.
Oh, sure. I don't mind a GameCube controller to hold. I had a GameCube. You do get used to the button layout, but
the Wavebird.
We have come a long way in controllers since then. But they have this GameCube adapter, and it's pretty much just for Smash, right? They brought it out for the Wii U. It's a USB GameCube adapter. And a little while ago, someone found out that after an update, if you plug them into a Switch, they work. And everyone was like, oh, this must be them planning to add GameCube controller support to the Switch. And then Nintendo released an update saying, yeah, the last Nintendo Switch update did enable GameCube controller support with the Wii U GameCube adapter. This wasn't planned, and we're still not exactly sure how this happened or why. So I just like that. They were like, yeah, we're just accidentally adding features, much requested features now, and we don't know how. Also,
well, they had to know that this was coming, right?
Also, the Switch machine, the machine that makes the updates, you know, that distributes them and stuff, is talking to us, and
it's really upset about slipping. So we took that out because all hail our new robot overlords.
It is funny though because what's his name, Sakurai, the guy who makes Smash Brothers. He's gone on record after... Did you say Zachary? Yeah, Zachary. That's how you pronounce the Japanese name, right? I think he's called Bob. Bob Zachary. He's gone on record after...
No, you always put the last name first.
Zachary Bob. He's gone on record after every Smash Brothers as being like, yeah, I'm done now. I don't want to make another. He said it after Melee. And then for Brawl, they were like, "Yeah, please come back. We really want you to make another one." And like he thought that he wasn't on the team, and then they were like, "No, we need you to just you got these other projects, tough, Smash Brothers." And then he had to do the last one. He had to do 2 because he had to do 3DS and Wii U, which are cross-compatible versions, but they're obviously separate engines and code because very different platforms, all this stuff. And he's expressed so many times that he wants to get out of developing Smash Brothers. And what I thought was interesting is every time anybody's ever asked him about putting Ridley in, he's always said, Ridley's not a good fit because he's too big, and he's got flight and skills. We already have a sort of a flying character in Kirby and things like that. I just don't think he's a very good fit for the game. He's probably never going to happen. And then he just comes up. He's finally starting to look old because he's looked like a 14-year-old boy for every time I've ever seen him. He's finally starting to show some age, right? Wherever the painting of him as a young man is being stored, it must be looking ancient at this point, right? And he just goes, yeah, Ridley, whatever. Just put them all in. Who gives a shit? Just Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Just have everything. Have your fucking GameCube controllers. I don't care anymore. Just let me die and stop making Super Smash Brothers. Please.
No more.
Wouldn't it be great if he did just die by tripping?
No! Like, why would you wish that on someone? Just... Okay, yeah, there's your quote. Wouldn't it be great if you just died?
By tripping? Can't cut the context out.
No, we're cutting it there. It's like, wouldn't it be great if he died? Ellipses. You know?
That should be the new roster. Painting of Sakurai. Aging portrait of Sakurai.
It's just Sakurai. And he doesn't actually have any moves. Like, every time you push a button, he just pulls a gun out and shoots himself. Oh, that got dark.
I would love it if all the new challenges one time were just, like, really insensitive. Like, it's Iwata's ghost. It's ranting Miyamoto, and it's just Miyamoto saying all that shitty stuff he said about Rare when Donkey Kong Country was outselling Yoshi's Island.
It's the actual fetus from Homebound.
It just comes out and it's Pikmin, but they're all spectral and haunted, and it's like it's all the Pikmin that would have been released had Pikmin 4 released when Miyamoto suggested it would, from various cancelled versions. It's just these weird ephemeral spirits from another dimension that just drag the players down and always win. We should not be. The Pikmin that never were. Just these haunted spirits stalking Super Smash Brothers. And every time you turn on the game, there's more of them, and more of the scenery's just started to decay away and disappear.
It's just more and more eyes looking at you.
And then every so often, you'll see them pop up when you're just doing something totally different. You don't even have the Switch on. You're
playing a PlayStation.
Was that one of those? Was it one of those weird spooky Pikmin? And it just disappears. What?
Like, when was Pikmin in Uncharted? One day you just wake up, open your eyes, and there's one in front of you, just for a second, like, and then it goes away. Like, oh.
You've actually got to buy like one of the Pikmin whistles, and then they do follow you, but once they follow you, they never go. You can never dispel them. They're just always with you.
Eventually, you do have to just become one of the dog things and start eating them, like, just.
But every time you do, you can tell that a piece of your soul has died.
Right, you can hear the screamings down your throat and in your stomach. Man, it's got dark.
So where else can you go with Nintendo?
Right, they kind of bring it on themselves. So yeah, that was kind of E3. I guess. Oh, I forgot to mention. I thought Division 2 looked good.
Yeah, it does look good. I probably won't pick it up straight away because I've only just started playing the Division, and I'm taking my time with it. But right. I'll probably pick it up.
I'll probably pick it up straight away. The one I'll probably wait for is Anthem, because Anthem seems like the kind of game that you want to pick it up after the first expansion, after all the kinks have been kind of worked out. You know, all the leather's been put away.
Have they added loot boxes yet?
Yeah, have they added loot boxes yet, or have they adequately removed the loot boxes?
Yeah, have they removed loot boxes yet? Have they apologized for destroying the game yet and embarrassing the license and bringing further regulation on the industry yet?
Did they make us take a shot yet?
What is the next one going to be? Like, free with every copy of Anthem. Drugs! We found a new way to play Anthem that's going to keep you hooked. And then half the people on Reddit will be going, oh, personally, I think the drugs enhance the experience. It's more cinematic. It's just the same as buying trading cards.
It's their choice. You know, they're not forcing you to take the drug.
EA's a business. Businesses are about making money.
No, like literally, like the next version is just a gun that you have to place in your mouth to control it. Just
and one bullet. Spin the barrel to load.
There's just one button on the gun that's like covered in like red stripes, which says "Do not push" until you get to the last boss, and it says on the screen, "Push the button." Like,
we at EA believe in player choice. If that means letting our users buy microtransactions, you know, that's up to them for how they want to play the game. If they want to play the game with a loaded gun in their mouth, that's also up to them. It's about making the decision that's best for you.
It's player agency.
Only the player can decide if they want to pull that trigger or not. If you want to play Anthem without pulling the trigger, that's entirely up to you. But every copy is coming with a gun.
And then afterwards, it's... You know, they had this great sprawling narrative, and they boiled it down to two binary choices. This really just kind of defeats the purpose of all the decisions you made for the rest of the game.
And then they're gonna buy the company that makes the gun and shut it down, and move all the resources and machines over to a different company that didn't previously make guns. And they go, why aren't our guns selling anymore? They're on mobile now, and they don't work like the previous ones, but...
Well, they're gonna have to... What they have to do, though, is when everyone complains about the ending to Anthem, you know, or, oh, I only get like two choices, either shoot myself or don't shoot myself. You know, it's too black and white, you know, and blah, 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 blah. Where they're gonna have to, like, release a patch where you add a third option, and you just have a small, adorable puppy delivered to your house, and your third option now is to shoot the puppy.
No, but what they do is a patch where
bad.
A patch
right?
where they
That's
come.
What I'm trying to say.
A patch where they come to your house, and you still only have the choice to either shoot yourself or not shoot yourself. But people talk around the choices for about 45 minutes more before you do it. Anthem does not look like a BioWare game. I'm very interested to see when we get in there how much it's going to actually be a BioWare game. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously it's a BioWare game, but I wonder if they're just... It's a case of whether they really are trying to get BioWare to just make a completely different type of game, or if the BioWare stuff's going to be in there, but they're downplaying it.
Good question. You know, I think it will be in there because you did see some like cutscene stuff. But I guess I don't know if it really will though. If you think about it, like to have that sort of stuff, you actually need to be able to like see a character, right?
Right, and they haven't shown anything about support characters yet, or NPCs or anything like that. Just
right. I mean,
your other players and your classes.
NPCs. They have shown NPCs. Yeah, there's that whole bit where you sit down at the table across from the one guy.
Oh, of course. You're right.
Yeah, but you're in first person. So, and like a lot of like BioWare's like shtick relies on you being able to see your character, right? Because like, what's the romance option like? You know, if you can't.
Oh, I know a fair few people that would like to romance Garrus in first person.
Fair enough. Well, and I guess like Far Cry kind of got away with it. Far Cry 3, you had a first person lovemaking scene.
Excuse me, sorry, a yawn snuck up on me there. No, you're right. It'll be interesting. The thing about Anthem is we don't know really enough about where they're going with it.
Right.
Beyond, it's going to be a bit like Warframe.
Yeah, I think that's what you and I both said. Like, yeah, this seems kind of Warframe-y.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
so okay.
It's a class-based, team-based. It's a co-op, team-based shooter where you have changeable suits. You know.
Right.
Hopefully, it's good.
Yeah. No,
I wouldn't mind.
I
wouldn't mind if it felt like Warframe, but big budget. You know.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I'm actually kind of a sucker for like the numbers. You know, where you shoot something, you see all the numbers and combo, and
yeah, I love that.
Like yeah, I'm a sucker for that. Like, I think that stuff is awesome. Give me all the numbers.
Damn it.
But okay, let's we did say that we both had kind of a topic. We've been going a little long, so let's try to rush through what we want to talk about. You want to talk about Evolution, right?
A little bit. I've been playing Jurassic World Evolution, and it is a good game, but I must admit, I've been finding a lot of frustrations with it. But you know what? There isn't really a good segue into that. I suppose all I was going to say was I've been enjoying the game, and it's nice to have a good park building game back again, because that's a genre that I like, but doesn't come around that often, you know? But the game itself's kind of frustrating because the game is actually a dinosaur logistics simulator, if you know what I mean. Whereas the business of running a park is kind of faked. The guests are kind of faked, if you know what I mean. They're fudged a little bit. What you really have is path density, if that makes sense. If an area is doing well, the paths around there will appear dense with guests.
Okay.
But there's no...
Real quick, Liz says, whoops, it's 1:20 already, gotta go. Have a good one, Liz, thanks for watching.
See you later, Liz, thanks for watching.
Liz, yeah, have a good night, sleep well.
So yeah, I was just going to talk about that a little bit, and yeah, it's a shame because I'm liking it a lot, but it's quite frustrating that we wait this long for a new big park builder to come out, and it is very much a sequel to Operation Genesis, and it's such a shallow experience, you know? But what actually really annoyed me today is, I actually pushed to unlock, Isla Nublar, which is the island from the first Jurassic Park movie, and they say this is your big sandbox where you can actually put everything you've unlocked into one big park where you've got a lot of open space. And that's kind of what I've been waiting for, the chance to just get out of these early islands, which are like scenarios, and play the game. And it's not that big. It's about as big as 2 of the pre-existing islands we've done, basically, stuck together. And it only has a no money mode. So you can't actually play the game, you know what I mean? You can just build limitlessly. So Jurassic World Evolution, fun game, decent engine, bit shallow in the park building, but a lot of stuff to do with the dinosaurs and you have to keep you through. That's your basic setup for the game. It doesn't have a mode where you just play to build a park. It doesn't have that. It has 5 scenarios where you're on islands with different statistics, different setups.
I bet you it'll come.
It might do, but right now it doesn't have it, and it costs 50 quid. And that really counts against it in my mind. Like, I could live with it being shallow if there was an option to just sit and play, but I don't. In games like that, I have no interest in a mode that has unlimited money. That to me is the engine with no game, you know? I know some people like it. Some people like no money modes for planning stuff out and for building things in city skylines and without restrictions and things, and I get that, and I totally get why people enjoy them, but that's not for me. I like
both modes then.
Pardon?
There should just be both modes then.
Yeah.
No money mode and
I don't see why they couldn't just have that on that final island. Just an option to just put the same management tools on, but there isn't. And it's a real shame because the thing is, I understand why the park building is kind of shallow. And it's because they want the focus to be on logistics of running dinosaurs. Because it is a park building game, but it's also a Jurassic World game, and they want you to be focused on, oh no, the T-Rex has escaped, and I gotta get my helicopters out and things like that, right?
Right.
And I think if you had to do that, and at the same time, like the guests, there's no point where you could see every guest come into the park and click on them and see, oh, this is Joe from Argentina, and his favorite dinosaur is Triceratops.